Hey everybody, it's Smash Bro. Welcome back to more Super Mario Bros. Last time we beat Bowser and rescued Princess Peach from his clutches. This time, we're not done. I've got more of this game I need to show off. Once we beat the game, some more stuff unlock. More specifically, a post-game. Or a new game plus, for that matter. Once we beat Bowser, and go back to the title screen, you'll notice that when you start replaying the game, some of the enemies are different. All Goombas are now replaced with, Buzzy Beetles. So that's one thing. If you play the two-player game, player 1 will play as Mario and player 2 will play as Luigi. Characters swap anytime a player loses a life. So when player 1 loses a life, player 2 will get a chance to play. I was half tempted because of this to just play as Luigi for the entirety of this LP, but there were some complications with the control scheme on Nintendo Switch Online, which kind of made it more inconveniencing to do, so I just opted to play as Mario instead. Due to the success of Super Mario Bros., many alternate versions of the game were created, and I want to talk about them. The first re-release of Super Mario Bros. I'm talking here today is Versus Super Mario Bros. This is a two-player arcade version of Super Mario Bros. Where player 1 plays as Mario and player 2 plays as Luigi. The game is harder than the original game, with less warp zones, less power-ups, and more enemies. 6 levels of the game were also replaced by their Lost Level counterpart. Think this game was also lost to the ages? Think again. This version was re-released on the Switch eShop under the name Arcade Archives Super Mario Bros. Back in December of 2017. There is yet another re-release of Super Mario Bros. Known as All Night Nippon Super Mario Bros. This version is based on the Japanese radio program All Night Nippon. The best way I can describe it is that it's like a late-night talk show. The game was published by Fuji Television, and is a hybrid of sorts with some enemies and characters replaced by actors on the show. It also adds in elements from Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, including graphics, levels, as well as the bonus A, B, C, and D worlds. I want to give a big thanks to the YouTube channel Nintendo Complete for letting me use their footage of the game for this video. All the images from the slides you're seeing come from his video. I can't thank him enough for the footage, since footage for the game can be hard to come by, especially since it was a Japanese-only game. I'll have a link to his channel in the descriptions. Go watch his stuff, it's all put together really well. Lastly, we have Super Mario Bros. Special, a new version of the game released by Hudson Soft in 1986. This version is not a one-to-one conversion, as it has new levels, enemies from both Mario Bros. And Donkey Kong, and has 5 new power-ups in the form of a clock that awards an extra 100 seconds, wings that let Mario swim in air, a lucky star that defeats all enemies on screen at once, the hammer from Donkey Kong that does the same thing there as it did in the original Donkey Kong, and the Hudson Bee, which is Hudson Soft's logo. It gives out 8,000 points when it is received. In all seriousness though, I'd still call this an inferior version, due to the PCs the game ran on being not as powerful as the NES or the Famicom, and couldn't even properly do side-scrolling, rather instead resorting to loading the next part of the level once Mario hit the edge of the screen. At the end of the day though, I'd still call this a unique bit of Nintendo history, as Nintendo rarely ever lets third parties, or let alone their own IPs, bring games to other platforms. So I still think it's neat in the end. Next, I want to talk about the speedrunning community for Super Mario Bros. What you're seeing right now is not really a speedrun. This is just footage of me playing through what is essentially all 8 levels that you're going to be playing through if you're attempting to do in any percent run of the game, which means warp pipes and warp zones are usable, so on and so forth. Essentially, what you're doing is you're going through World 1, using the warp zone in World 2, moving on to World 4, going through the entirety of World 4-1, climbing up to the Vine Warp Zone to go to World 8 in World 4-2, and then completing the entirety of World 8 to beat the game. As of today, June 27th, 2020, the any percent record holder is Kosmic with a time of 4 minutes, 55 seconds, and 646 milliseconds. Kosmic also holds the warpless record at 18 minutes, 59 seconds, and 856 milliseconds. Will I be attempting these speedruns? No, I will not. But if you want to know more about speedrunning, I would recommend Kosmic's explanation of how he did his 4 minute, 55 second, and 656 millisecond speedrun. He's got a great video detailing everything he did in that, so go check it out. So, this probably isn't a shocker, but it's still kind of dumb anyway. But as I was researching stuff, it turns out that Super Mario Bros. Actually ended up getting 2 adult video parodies, called Super Hornio Bros. 1 and Super Hornio Bros. 2. I looked into this further, and it turns out Digino Gaming covered this already, where they explained that Nintendo bought the rights in order to prevent distribution, which in all honesty just makes a whole lot of sense. And no, I will not be posting any links, nor will I be looking for links to this, so don't even ask me. I'm not even gonna want to look this up either, because I value future me. So, future me, don't worry, you won't have to look at any of this in the future. I just want to let you know that this is a thing that happened, for whatever reason. The next thing I want to talk about are 2 particular glitches. The first one we're going to talk about here is the infinite 1-up trick. I just need to get to where it is first, and then we'll show it off. Yep, right here. I'm going to get rid of that one enemy, but if I line myself up correctly, and if I constantly jump on this shell, eventually, if I can get this right, eventually, you can just constantly jump on and continuously jump onto the shell and get many 1-ups that way. Can I do it again? No. At the very least, I know that it works, and I'm at least glad I was able to pull it off. The next thing we're going to show up is World -1 in just a second. And just like I promised, the minus world glitch. This is a really weird one, where if you get to the end where near the warp zone is and position yourself properly while crouch jumping, you can somehow find your way into clipping into the wall, and kind of like loading things in a weird way. And you'll see that we made it to World -1. This is actually World 7-2. And in the game's data, this is actually supposed to be World 36. I'm gonna look into it more, and I'll have future me, like, just put in the description, or, like, just blurb out what's going on here, or at least a theory of what's happening here. Because I'm not so sure myself. What I am sure of is that this level actually loops. If we get to the end of the level, you'll notice we start right back at the beginning. There's no way to get out of here. We're effectively stuck. The only way to get out of here is to get a game over. Next on the list, let's talk about the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Yep, that was a thing, and it wasn't very good. I'm not going to harp on this for too long, but let's just say the film was developed by a husband and wife team, had a tumultuous development, and was rewritten multiple times. Not only that, but the actor that played Mario got constantly drunk on set, and also broke one of his limbs during filming. This all culminated in what was essentially a financial flop so bad it scared Nintendo away from the big screen for decades, up until recently where they partnered with Illuminations to bring an animated Mario movie to the big screen. Oh dear. Alright, I know what you're thinking about. Hey Smash, why the heck you playing Sonic instead of Mario? I thought this was a Mario Let's Play. And here's the answer for it. In an interview with Nintendo Power, the creator of Sonic, Yuji Naka, actually said that Super Mario Bros. Was an influence to the development of Sonic the Hedgehog, specifically the idea of going fast. Because he was inspired when he was constantly having to replay through World 1-1 to get to World 1-2 and use the warp pipe, and he was always trying to see how fast he could speed through the level. Yeah, it's Sonic, not Mario, but I still thought it was a pretty neat tidbit to add regardless. The last thing we'll be discussing today is a little bit of the development history behind Super Mario Bros. They started with a prototype in which the player simply moved a 16 by 32 pixel square around the screen. It was actually Takashi Tezuka that suggested the use of Mario after seeing the sales figures for Mario Bros. And, once the Super Mushroom was implemented, the dev team chose the name Super Mario Bros. The game was developed in a very limited cartridge space. As a result of these limitations, the designers considered their attempts for storage saving to be just like their own game show competition. As an example, clouds and bushes in the game's backgrounds are the same sprite, just recolored. And Goombas are just one sprite, being flipped every second to look like an animation. Alongside that, sound effects and levels are constantly being reused. According to Takashi Tezuka, in a video about Mario Maker at E3 2015, all levels made in Super Mario Bros. Were hand-drawn on graph paper first. Going on to the music, before composition for the game began, Koji Kondo was presented a prototype so that he could get a feel for Mario's general environment and revolve the music around it. He would write the score with the help of a small piano to create appropriate melodies that fit the game's environments. And after the development of the game showed progress, Koji Kondo started feeling as if the music wasn't fitting the pace of the game, so he changed it a bit by increasing the song's tempos. The music was then adjusted further based on the expectations of playtesters. And the last thing on this video I want to talk about, I want to thank all of you. Without your guys' help, this video would not be nearly as elaborate as it was already. And not just that, but I also want to thank you guys for watching the entirety of the playthrough. It was really fun to make, and I'm really glad that it made people's day seeing this, as I genuinely just wanted to help people play a game that I had really fun playing when I was a kid. But, at the end of the day, this video still doesn't scratch the surface as to everything that Super Mario Bros. Contains. So, in the comments, I want you to go down and just let me know anything I might have missed, be it a secret, a tidbit, or just a little nugget of knowledge that you might know that I wouldn't have otherwise. And with that, that has been Super Mario Bros. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for something completely different. See you guys then!